I walked into Elena's birthday party, trying to ignore the pit in my stomach. "Hey, you made it!" Elena's voice rang like bells, bright and teasing. She twirled, hair shining under the chandelier, and I swallowed hard. "I wouldn't miss it," I said, forcing a smile. "Of course you wouldn't," she laughed, eyes sparkling, but there was something in that sparkle I couldn't read. "Come meet everyone. Don't be shy." I nodded, following her through clusters of people. Everyone seemed to know her, everyone wanted her attention. Max waved from across the room, smirking as our eyes met. "Look at you," he said quietly, his tone sharp but amused. "Still playing the loyal puppy, huh?" I flushed, looking away. I'm just happy to be here." Elena leaned close. "Don't be so nervous. Tonight's about fun, not about you being, well, you know." I laughed nervously, but a cold twist of fear gnawed at my stomach. Something felt off. Minutes later, she clinked a glass. "Everyone, attention." Her voice rang across the room. "Before we start the cake, I have a little surprise." I smiled, thinking it was something sweet. Maybe a toast for friendship. "Where's my favorite guy?" she asked, eyes scanning the crowd. My stomach sank. All eyes turned to me. I'm here," I said, stepping forward awkwardly. "Oh, don't be shy," she teased, looping her arm through mine for effect. "Remember when we were kids and he tried to impress me with his stupid poems?" She laughed, loud and sharp. "Still writing bad poetry, huh? Or are you still the same boring guy?" Laughter erupted. My cheeks burned. I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. "Wow," Max said, chuckling from the side. "I didn't know you were that pathetic." I felt it, the weight of every mocking glance, every whispered snicker. My chest tightened, my throat dry. I wanted to disappear. "Come on, don't be shy," Elena cooed, leaning closer. "Say something for everyone. Give them a reason to pity you, or maybe just ignore you." I shook my head, stepping back. I don't need to prove anything." My voice cracked. Her laughter sliced through me. "Oh, sweetie, it's adorable that you think you have a choice." She turned away, toasting the room with a charming smile that hid cruelty beneath. Everyone clapped. I stumbled toward the exit, each step heavy. Behind me, her laughter followed, echoing in my mind. Max smirked, watching my retreat. "Better luck next time," he said quietly, a twist of satisfaction in his voice. Outside, I leaned against the cold wall, taking in shaky breaths. The night air stung, but it felt like freedom from the shame that burned hotter than anything inside the house. I touched my chest, feeling the emptiness that her words left behind. Why did I let her treat me like that? I thought of every moment I had been loyal, every kind word I had said, every small effort I made to make her happy. And it didn't matter. Not one bit. "I won't be like this again," I whispered, voice low but firm. "I'll never be powerless again. She'll see me, someday. She'll regret this." The party faded behind me, replaced by a cold determination. I wiped my tears, squared my shoulders, and walked into the night. No one had to see the pain. No one would know what I was planning. But inside, a fire had lit, a fire that whispered promises of change, revenge, and a rebirth no one would see coming. And I swore to myself, under the dim streetlights and the quiet night sky, that the person who humiliated me tonight would never control me again. I shut myself in my room the morning after the party, trying to escape the echo of Elena's laughter that kept tearing through my head. My mom knocked and said, "Sweetheart, can we talk?" But I muttered that I was tired. I wasn't tired. I was drowning. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her smile, her friends laughing, Max's smirk cutting into me like a blade. My dad tried next. "Son, come downstairs. Just for breakfast." I stared at the door and whispered, "I'm not hungry." He waited a moment, then sighed and walked away. I hated how quiet the house felt. I hated how small I felt inside it. I kept replaying the moment Elena looked at me like I was nothing. I wondered if I really was nothing. Jared called around noon. "Pick up, man. I heard something happened at the party." I stared at my phone until it stopped ringing. When he called again, I forced myself to answer. "I'm fine," I said. "You don't sound fine," he replied. "Tell me what she did." I swallowed, feeling my voice break as I whispered, "She made fun of me. In front of everyone." Jared stayed quiet for a long second before asking, "Do you want me to come over?" I shook my head even though he couldn't see me. "No," I said. "I don't want anyone to see me right now." "Why?" he asked softly. "Because I look like someone who let himself get stepped on," I said. "Because I let her treat me like that." "You didn't let her," he said. "She crossed a line. That's on her, not you." I sat on the edge of my bed, staring at my shaking hands. "I don't know if I should face her again," I said. "Or if I should disappear from her world forever." Jared sighed. "You don't need to decide right now. Just breathe. Let yourself feel it." I lay back on my pillow. "It hurts so much," I whispered. "I feel stupid for hoping she cared." Jared replied, "You cared. That's not stupid. What she did was cruel." I closed my eyes as tears slipped down my temples. "Why did she do it?" I asked. Jared's voice softened. "Because people like her don't know how to respect what they don't fear losing." After he hung up, I dragged myself downstairs. My mom looked up from the kitchen table. "Sweetheart, talk to me," she said gently. I sat across from her. "I embarrassed myself," I said. "No," she replied. "Someone embarrassed you. That's different." My dad set a plate in front of me. "Eat a little," he said. "You'll feel worse if you don't." I pushed the plate away. "I can't," I said. My dad frowned. My mom reached for my hand. "Tell us what happened," she whispered. I shook my head. "It doesn't matter." "It matters to us," she said. "You're hurting." I felt my throat burn. "She humiliated me," I said. "And I let everyone see it." My mom squeezed my hand. "You didn't deserve that." My dad nodded. "You're stronger than you feel right now." I bit my lip. "I don't feel strong," I said. "I feel empty." My mom said softly, "Then we'll help you fill that emptiness again." I wanted to believe her, but something dark inside me whispered, "Stand up. Change. Don't stay broken." Later that night, Jared texted me. "I'm still here if you need me." I replied, "I know." Then I stared at the dark window and whispered, "I don't want to be the person she mocked." My reflection stared back, tired and hollow. "I'll change," I said. "Not for her. For me." And in that quiet moment, the first spark of something new flickered inside me. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to my heartbeat thudding like a warning. "Tomorrow has to be different," I whispered. "I can't stay trapped in this pain forever." The room felt too still, too heavy, but I forced myself to breathe. "I won't let her define me," I said. "I'll rise, even if it takes everything I have." And with that promise, I finally closed my eyes. I was walking aimlessly through the city, hoodie pulled tight, replaying Elena's laughter like a broken record. "I can't keep feeling like this," I muttered to myself. That's when I bumped into her. "Careful," she said sharply, her eyes scanning me like she already knew everything about me. "Or are you always this distracted?" I'm sorry," I stammered. Something about her gaze made me feel exposed, but not in a cruel way. More like she could see everything I was trying to hide. "I'm Ava," she said, extending her hand. "And you look like someone who's about to waste a lot of life feeling sorry for himself." I blinked. I don't know what you mean." She smirked. "I know exactly what I mean. Let me guess, humiliation, betrayal, the works." I froze. How do you know?" "I see it in the way you walk, the slump in your shoulders." "You've been stepped on," she said, voice sharp but not unkind. "Do you want to keep lying there, or do you want to rise?" I swallowed hard. "Rise. Yes. I can help you. But you have to want it more than you want to hide in shadows." She tilted her head, as if weighing me. "Do you want that?" I wanted it. More than I wanted anything else. I do," I whispered. "Good. Then listen carefully, she said, pulling out a small notebook. First, we need to change how you see yourself. No one will respect you if you don't respect yourself. Confidence isn't something you fake, it's something you build. I don't even know where to start, I said. Start small. Talk to people. Stand tall. Speak clearly. Every word you say matters, she said. And patience. You can't expect her, or anyone, to notice the real you overnight. I nodded, feeling a spark of something unfamiliar, hope. And, you really think I can make her regret everything she did? Ava's eyes glittered. I don't care about her. I care about you. But yes, her shock will come naturally if you rise the right way. She'll notice, and she'll realize the mistake she made. I laughed nervously. It feels impossible. Nothing worth doing is easy, she replied. Now, I know some people who can teach you skills that matter. How to carry yourself, how to influence people, how to play the game without losing yourself. We'll start tomorrow. I hesitated. What's in it for you? Ava smiled faintly. I enjoy seeing someone wake up from a nightmare. I enjoy seeing a plan work. And just like that, I had a mentor, someone who believed in me before I even believed in myself. I didn't know what I was signing up for, but I felt a thrill I hadn't felt since the party, excitement mixed with fear. The next day, she introduced me to 2 more people. One taught me posture, presence, and voice control. Your words are weapons, she said. Use them wisely. Another showed me the subtleties of social influence. Notice everything. Listen more than you talk. Timing is everything. I practiced endlessly, stumbling at first. I don't know if I can do this, I admitted one evening, exhausted and frustrated. Ava's gaze was unyielding. You can. You have to. Do you want to be the same weak boy she laughed at, or do you want to be someone she can't ignore? I want to be someone else, I said, my voice firmer than I expected. Good, she said. That's all the commitment you need. Start seeing the world differently. Start seeing yourself differently. The rest will follow. I went home that night and looked in the mirror. My reflection stared back, tired but determined. I will rise, I whispered. I'll change, step by step, day by day. And one day, she'll see me differently. Ava had planted the first seed. And though I didn't yet know how tall it would grow, I could feel the roots taking hold inside me. The anger from that night, the humiliation, the betrayal, wasn't gone, but it had transformed. It was fuel now, waiting for me to use it. I won't be the same boy she mocked, I muttered to myself. Not anymore. That night, sleep came lightly, but my mind was alive with plans, strategies, and the first whispers of transformation. I could almost taste the change, and for the first time in weeks, I didn't feel like a victim. I felt dangerous. I glanced at my reflection in the mirror and muttered, "Time to stop being invisible." The muscles in my arms and shoulders ached from the morning workout, but the soreness felt good. It meant progress. It meant I was moving. Ava's voice echoed in my head. Confidence isn't faked. It's earned. I tried it out. "Good morning, world," I said aloud, smirking at my reflection. Ridiculous. Maybe. But it was a start. By noon, I was at a networking event, introduced to people I barely knew. "Hi, I stopped. My voice shook. "Breathe," whispered a man next to me, shaking my hand firmly. "Speak clearly. People remember confidence." "I'm Alex," I said, voice steadier than before. "And I'm glad to meet you." He nodded. "Exactly. Now, listen more than you speak. Let them reveal themselves first." I wandered through the crowd, absorbing everything, gestures, laughs, the way people leaned in when others spoke. I started small conversations. "I like your perspective on that project," I said to someone who looked at me skeptically. They smiled. "Thanks, you're insightful yourself." For the first time in weeks, I felt a spark of pride. This is working. Later, I joined a seminar where I met more people who taught subtle influence and presence. "Your posture says everything about your mindset," said a woman, correcting my shoulders. "Stand tall, walk with intent." "Walk with intent," I repeated, almost laughing at how ridiculous it felt. She chuckled. Yes, but trust me, you'll notice the difference when people respond differently. I left the seminar and ran into Elena's circle at a cafe. My stomach tightened, but I reminded myself, you are not the same boy she mocked. One of her friends, Sarah, sipped her coffee and smirked. Did you hear? Alex has been making rounds in the industry. Gaining clients, meeting big names. I guess he's not invisible anymore. I smiled faintly, pretending not to care. Really? That's interesting. Inside, my chest surged. She's hearing about me now. She's noticing. Later, at another gathering, I met Daniel and Priya, two colleagues who unknowingly helped me improve my social skills. Daniel said, "You have a sharp mind. Don't let nerves ruin that." I tend to overthink, I admitted. Then channel it, Priya said. Use it. Observe, adapt, then act. I nodded, taking notes in my head. Everything counted. Every interaction was a lesson, every smile a small victory. That evening, I ran into Ava. "Progress?" she asked, arms crossed, looking me over. "I think so," I said. "I spoke up today. People actually listened." "Good," she said, a hint of approval. "Remember, subtlety. Don't show all your cards. Build anticipation. Let them wonder who you really are." I grinned, feeling a thrill. She'll wonder, all right. By the weekend, I was attending events Elena didn't even think to invite me to. Art galleries, charity fundraisers, industry mixers. I felt lighter, taller, sharper. At one mixer, someone introduced me as Alex to a group of professionals. "Alex, heard a lot about you." "Impressive work," said one man. I chuckled lightly. "Thanks, that means a lot coming from you." Walking away later, I caught a snippet from Elena's friend. "I can't believe he's suddenly successful. People are talking about him. And she's freaking out." My heart raced. She's hearing my name. She's noticing. Good. I walked home that night, exhausted but alive. Every conversation, every interaction, every tiny victory was a brick in a wall I was building, not around me, but for me. Confidence wasn't an illusion anymore. It was real, and I could feel it growing. In the quiet of my apartment, I whispered to myself, "I'm not the same person she humiliated. I'm rising, step by step. And soon, she'll understand what she lost." I fell asleep with that thought, my mind buzzing with plans, strategies, and tiny victories. Elena's laughter no longer haunted me, it fueled me. And for the first time, I could see the path clearly. The next step was approaching, and I would walk it with my head held high. I stepped into the conference hall with a calm breath, whispering, "This is it, my first real move." The lights were warm, the air buzzing, and I could already hear people murmuring about the award nominees. My name was on the list. Elena didn't know that. She thought I was still stuck in the shadows she left me in. "Alex, there you are," Mark said, clapping my shoulder. "You ready?" "I'm ready," I said, though my heart hammered. "Does Elena know?" He laughed softly. "She's here, man. Front row. And she's definitely not expecting your name to show up tonight." Good. That was the point. I approached the refreshment table, rehearsing lines in my head. Stay calm. Speak clearly. Don't gloat. I practiced under my breath. "Thank you, I'm honored." "No, that sounds stiff." "Maybe just, I appreciate this recognition." Someone beside me chuckled. "Nervous." I turned and saw a woman with sharp eyes and a tighter smile. "Who are you?" I asked. "Ilara," she said. "Elena's rival. And trust me, watching her stumble is one of my hobbies." I raised a brow. "Rival?" "Oh, absolutely," she said. "She pretends to be perfect, but she hates being outshined. And tonight, I think you're about to blind her." I tried not to grin. "We'll see." Ilara leaned closer. "She already noticed you, by the way. She asked me why everyone suddenly seems interested in that guy in black." I exhaled slowly. "And what did you say?" "That you're finally becoming someone worth noticing." She smirked. Relax. I mean that as a compliment. The announcement began. People shuffled to their seats. I stood near the side, hands in my pockets, pretending not to care. But inside, I felt the storm building. Nominees for the Rising Innovator Award. The host began. The room hushed. My chest tightened. Elena's convinced she'll win, Ilara whispered behind me. Watch her face. And the award goes to Alex. My breath stopped. For a moment I couldn't even move. Then applause erupted, loud and bright, and I walked onto the stage with slow, steady steps. I didn't look at Elena yet. Not yet. The host handed me the award. Congratulations, Alex. Any words? I forced a polite smile. I appreciate this recognition, I said. I've worked hard, and I'm grateful for those who believed in my potential. Simple. Controlled. No arrogance. But then the room shifted, and I heard her voice, Elena's sharp whisper. How did he win that? Since when does he even exist? I let myself glance at her. Just once. Her eyes were wide, jaw tight, pride cracking. That single look felt like fireworks inside me. As I stepped off the stage, people offered handshakes. Great job. Well deserved. Impressive work. I thanked them all, hiding the satisfaction rising in my chest. Ilara approached again. That was clean, she said. A perfect strike. Subtle, elegant, devastating. I chuckled softly. She looked surprised. She looked crushed, Ilara corrected. She's not used to losing attention. I leaned against a pillar, my mind spinning. Should I say something to her? No. Not yet. Timing matters. Patience matters. I whispered to myself, save it for the moment she least expects. Mark walked over. You going to talk to her? Not tonight, I said. Let her wonder. He nodded. Smart. Across the room, Elena stared at me, confusion and irritation blending on her face. She whispered something to her friends, but they shrugged. One even pointed toward me, probably telling her I'd earned it. That made her flinch. Ilara tapped my arm. Enjoy the victory. She'll think about this all night. I sighed, letting the tension drain. This was just the beginning. And a good one, she said. As the event ended, I walked out into the cool night, rehearsing the confrontation I knew would come. Why did you change? She'd ask. Or maybe, why didn't you tell me? And I'd answer calmly, because you never looked at me long enough to see who I could become. I smiled to myself. The first strike had landed. And she felt it. Good. There was more to come. I walked away certain that this small victory was only the opening step of many. I sat in my apartment, staring at the ceiling, and whispered, is this what I really want? The award, the recognition, the subtle victories over Elena, they felt good, but hollow at the same time. Ava appeared at my door without knocking. You're brooding, she said, stepping inside like she owned the place. I'm thinking, I muttered. About her? She asked, raising an eyebrow. I flinched. Yes. And myself. And what all of this even means. She leaned against the wall, arms crossed. You look like a man at war with his own reflection. I don't know if I'm doing this for me, or just to make her regret what she did. My voice cracked. And what if revenge doesn't make me happy? Then it's wasted energy, Ava said calmly. Think about it. You've been humiliated, yes, but you can either let it define you or redefine yourself. Do you want revenge or peace? I closed my eyes. Memories flooded in, her laughter at the party, her hands brushing mine in those moments I thought were special, the subtle warmth I had felt when she smiled at me before it all fell apart. I miss something, I whispered, voice low. I can't tell if it's her, or the person I thought I was with her. Maybe it's both, Ava said. But the question isn't what you miss. It's what you'll do next. I ran my hands through my hair. I want her to notice me. I want her to feel what I felt. But I also want to move on. Can I do both? She smirked. Some people spend their lives chasing ghosts. You can choose not to. I don't know if I can, I admitted. Part of me wants to confront her, humiliate her the way she did to me. Part of me wants to disappear from her world completely, never look back. Then test yourself, she said. Imagine both scenarios. Picture yourself standing in front of her, the room full, everyone watching. How does that feel? I closed my eyes again. I saw her face, proud and dismissive. I saw myself stepping forward, calm and confident. I could feel the power in my voice as I said, "You underestimated me." "And the other scenario?" she asked. I pictured walking away, vanishing from her circle, building my life silently, hearing about her regrets secondhand. It felt quieter, but not empty. Peaceful, even. "You see the difference?" Ava asked softly. "One feeds the ego. One feeds the soul." I opened my eyes. "But it's so hard to let go. That anger, that sting." "Anger is a fuel, yes," she said, "but only if it drives you to improve yourself, not destroy someone else. You can have closure without cruelty." I shook my head. "Closure feels impossible." "It isn't," she said firmly. "Closure is inside you. You have to decide whether to chase her shadow or build your own light." I sat in silence, letting her words sink in. My heart raced, torn between the satisfaction of revenge and the hope of freedom. "Maybe," I whispered, "maybe I can do both in my own way. Not by hurting her, but by becoming someone she can't ignore, and never underestimate again." Ava nodded. "Good. That's the turning point. The rest is execution, patience, and resilience." I looked out the window at the city lights, feeling the first spark of clarity in weeks. "I will rise," I said quietly. "I will move forward, but I will never forget. And I will never be powerless again." She smiled faintly. "Then you know your path." "I think I do," I said. "And I think, for the first time, it's mine. Not hers. Not the past. Mine." Ava placed a hand on my shoulder. "Remember, the best victories are the ones you don't announce. The world will notice, whether she does or not." I nodded. My mind swirled with strategies, but a sense of calm settled over me. For the first time, the anger wasn't a cage, it was a compass. "Thank you," I said softly, "for this." "Don't thank me yet," she said, smirking. "You still have a lot of work to do. But I think you're ready to choose your own path." I whispered to myself, staring at the city skyline. "I choose me. Finally, I choose me." I sat in my apartment, staring at the ceiling, and whispered, "Is this what I really want?" The award, the recognition, the subtle victories over Elena, they felt good, but hollow at the same time. Ava appeared at my door without knocking. "You're brooding," she said, stepping inside like she owned the place. "I'm thinking," I muttered. "About her?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. I flinched. "Yes." "And myself. And what all of this even means." She leaned against the wall, arms crossed. "You look like a man at war with his own reflection." I don't know if I'm doing this for me, or just to make her regret what she did." My voice cracked. "And what if revenge doesn't make me happy?" "Then it's wasted energy," Ava said calmly. "Think about it. You've been humiliated, yes, but you can either let it define you or redefine yourself. Do you want revenge or peace?" I closed my eyes. Memories flooded in, her laughter at the party, her hands brushing mine in those moments I thought were special, the subtle warmth I had felt when she smiled at me before it all fell apart. I miss something," I whispered, voice low. "I can't tell if it's her, or the person I thought I was with her." "Maybe it's both," Ava said. "But the question isn't what you miss. It's what you'll do next." I ran my hands through my hair. "I want her to notice me. I want her to feel what I felt. But I also want to move on. Can I do both?" She smirked. "Some people spend their lives chasing ghosts. You can choose not to." "I don't know if I can," I admitted. "Part of me wants to confront her, humiliate her the way she did to me. Part of me wants to disappear from her world completely, never look back." "Then test yourself," she said. "Imagine both scenarios. Picture yourself standing in front of her, the room full, everyone watching. How does that feel? I closed my eyes again. I saw her face, proud and dismissive. I saw myself stepping forward, calm and confident. I could feel the power in my voice as I said, "You underestimated me." "And the other scenario?" she asked. I pictured walking away, vanishing from her circle, building my life silently, hearing about her regrets secondhand. It felt quieter, but not empty. Peaceful, even. "You see the difference?" Ava asked softly. "One feeds the ego. One feeds the soul." I opened my eyes. "But it's so hard to let go. That anger, that sting." "Anger is a fuel, yes," she said, "but only if it drives you to improve yourself, not destroy someone else. You can have closure without cruelty." I shook my head. "Closure feels impossible." "It isn't," she said firmly. "Closure is inside you. You have to decide whether to chase her shadow or build your own light." I sat in silence, letting her words sink in. My heart raced, torn between the satisfaction of revenge and the hope of freedom. "Maybe," I whispered, "maybe I can do both in my own way. Not by hurting her, but by becoming someone she can't ignore, and never underestimate again." Ava nodded. "Good. That's the turning point. The rest is execution, patience, and resilience." I looked out the window at the city lights, feeling the first spark of clarity in weeks. "I will rise," I said quietly. "I will move forward, but I will never forget. And I will never be powerless again." She smiled faintly. "Then you know your path." "I think I do," I said. "And I think, for the first time, it's mine. Not hers. Not the past. Mine." Ava placed a hand on my shoulder. "Remember, the best victories are the ones you don't announce. The world will notice, whether she does or not." I nodded. My mind swirled with strategies, but a sense of calm settled over me. For the first time, the anger wasn't a cage, it was a compass. "Thank you," I said softly, "for this." "Don't thank me yet," she said, smirking. "You still have a lot of work to do. But I think you're ready to choose your own path." I whispered to myself, staring at the city skyline. "I choose me. Finally, I choose me." I saw her across the room, Elena, surrounded by friends who once laughed at my humiliation. Now, something had shifted. There was tension in the air, a subtle unease I hadn't noticed before. Her perfectly composed smile trembled when someone mentioned a recent professional mistake she had made, a project gone wrong due to her arrogance. I walked up, feeling every step, whispering to myself, "This is the moment." Calm, steady, precise. "Elena," I said, my voice low but clear. She looked at me and froze for a split second before regaining composure. "Alex," she said, faintly polite. "I didn't expect to see you here." "I know," I said, tilting my head slightly. "But I've heard about your recent challenges." Her eyes narrowed. "Challenges? What do you mean?" I smiled faintly. "The project that failed. The comments from colleagues that weren't so flattering. Seems like everyone's finally noticing the real Elena." Her lips tightened. "I don't know what you're implying." "I'm implying," I said, stepping closer, "that actions have consequences. And words, especially cruel ones, tend to echo louder than expected." She looked away, flustered. "Alex, that was years ago. I was young. I didn't." "You humiliated me at your birthday," I interrupted gently, not angrily. "In front of everyone. Do you remember?" Her face paled. Yes, I. "And yet," I said, watching her carefully, "I didn't confront you then. I focused on myself instead. I learned. I rose. And here I am. Not seeking revenge, just fairness. Recognition that people see the truth now." Her friends murmured, confused, glancing between us. One whispered, Did he just?" I ignored them. "You acted cruelly, and the ripple effect caught up to you. The same arrogance that made you mock me has now isolated you in subtle ways. People respect me, they question you. I've found peace in that." She swallowed hard. Alex, I didn't realize. I know, I said. But that doesn't erase what happened. And that's the difference between us. I took control. You let yourself be exposed without learning. Her eyes shimmered with a mixture of shame and disbelief. I can't believe this. I thought I had everyone fooled. You did, I said softly, almost sadly. For a while. But confidence without substance fades. And kindness without empathy, well, it lasts forever. I was wrong, she whispered, barely audible. I leaned slightly closer. You don't get to undo the past, Elena. You don't get to rewrite what you did. But you can choose to learn from it. She blinked rapidly. I can't believe you've changed so much. You're different. Confident. Respected. I had to be, I said. Not for you, not for anyone else. For me. That's what you never understood. The only person who matters in your growth is yourself. A friend of hers, trying to mediate, said, Elena, maybe this isn't the time. I shook my head gently. No, this is the time. This is the moment she sees the consequences of her arrogance, of her cruelty. And I get closure. Not revenge, closure. Elena's hands trembled slightly. I wish I could take it back. You can't, I said. And that's the hardest lesson. But I can forgive if I choose. And I choose to forgive. For me, not for you. Her breath caught. Forgive. Yes, I said. Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's strength. It means I no longer need to be haunted by your actions. I can move forward, stronger than before. And you'll have to live with the knowledge that the world now sees the truth. She looked down, silent, and I felt a wave of relief, closure, and quiet triumph. The power had shifted, subtly, but decisively. She began again, voice shaky. I smiled faintly. No more words, Elena. Actions speak louder. You'll see the impact of your choices soon enough. I'll continue to rise, silently, steadily. That's my victory. She opened her mouth to respond, but no words came. I could see the regret, the recognition, the frustration in her eyes. Not everyone gets a second chance to learn humility gracefully. She would have to face it on her own. I turned, walking away with calm confidence, feeling every eye in the room shift, noticing. Some nodded subtly in respect, some whispered, curious. I didn't look back. The confrontation had happened. I had closure. And I had done it without cruelty, without shouting, without humiliation. Outside, the cool night air hit me. I whispered to myself, this is the power of rising above. This is my justice, my karma. For the first time in years, I felt truly free. And in that freedom, I realized, Elena's regret, her realization, was hers alone to carry. My victory wasn't in her suffering. It was in my growth, my strength, my resilience. And nothing could take that away. I sat on the balcony, the city lights shimmering below, and whispered to myself, I made it. I really made it. The journey from that humiliating birthday to here felt surreal, every step a mix of struggle, strategy, and growth. Ava's voice floated back in my memory. The best victories aren't loud. They're felt. I smiled faintly. I feel them, I said softly. Jared appeared with a cup of coffee, setting it beside me. You're quiet tonight. Reflecting. I guess, I said. Thinking about how far I've come, and how much I've learned. You've changed, he said, leaning against the railing. More than anyone expected. Even Elena. I chuckled lightly. She had her lessons too. Though she'll have to live with them herself. Do you ever miss it? The old chase for validation, he asked. I shook my head. No, not really. I understand now. The power was never in revenge or proving her wrong. It was in proving myself right. My own growth. My own worth. He nodded. I can see it. And honestly, it's inspiring. You've turned betrayal into strength. I sipped the coffee, savoring its warmth. It wasn't easy. There were nights I doubted myself. Moments I wanted to run back to the old me, where I was invisible, safe, but weak. And you didn't, he said. You pushed through. That's why you're here. I glanced at the skyline, whispering, I wish I could show Elena, show her everything I've become. Jared smiled faintly. You don't need her approval anymore. And trust me, she knows. That's enough. Later, Ava appeared on the balcony quietly, her presence calm as always. You're embracing it, she said softly. I am, I replied. I faced the anger, the betrayal, and the doubt. And now, I feel free. She smiled faintly. That's what I hoped for. Your victory isn't in her regret. It's in your peace. And your life is just beginning. I never realized how much I needed guidance, I admitted. You taught me patience, observation, confidence, all without making me dependent. That was the plan, she said, smirking. You had to claim it yourself. I just showed the path. I looked at her, sincerely. Thank you, Ava. For everything. She nodded, fading into the background like she always did, letting me own this moment fully. My phone buzzed. It was Lucas. Dinner. We celebrate quietly. No Elena drama. I smiled. Absolutely. At the small gathering later, laughter and conversation flowed freely. Allies who had helped me along the way shared stories, victories, and gentle advice. I felt a warmth that had nothing to do with recognition. It was connection, genuine and untainted by past cruelty. Alex, said Priya, raising her glass, to your growth. You've earned every step. I smiled. Thank you. Truly. And to all of you, who believed in me when I couldn't even see it in myself. Elena's name never came up. It didn't need to. I didn't need to gloat, and she didn't need to know. The satisfaction of my journey wasn't in her awareness, but in the quiet power I carried inside. Later, walking home, I passed the old park where I used to meet Elena. I paused, touching the railing lightly. Memories flashed, laughter, betrayal, heartbreak. But instead of pain, I felt gratitude. Gratitude for the lessons, for the drive, for the people who guided me. I whispered to the night, I'm stronger than I was, wiser, and ready. A soft chime on my phone. A message from someone new, someone I had met recently. Would you like to grab coffee? I'd love to get to know the new you. I smiled, heart steady. The new me, I whispered. Yes. Let's see where this goes. Walking forward, I realized the beauty of this chapter. Elena's arrogance and cruelty had run their course, but I had not been consumed. Instead, I had grown beyond it. The people who mattered, friends, mentors, allies, stood by me. And I had chosen the path of dignity and strength, not spite. In the quiet of my apartment, I sat by the window, reflecting. This is closure. Not just with her, but with the old me. The boy who allowed humiliation to define him. That boy is gone. I leaned back, eyes closed, and whispered, and now, I am Alex. Whole, strong, and free. Ready for the life I deserve. Ready for the people and experiences that truly matter. No more shadows, no more validation sought from those unworthy. Outside, the city hummed, full of possibilities. I could feel it. Life, opportunity, connection, love. And I was ready. Ava's voice, faint in my memory, reminded me, your journey isn't over. But this chapter, you've owned it. I smiled, heart full, whispering to myself one final time, yes, I've owned it. And I will continue, reborn. White heavy check mark word count, 900.